This segment brought to you in association with Burger King.
And Anne-Marie is here now with our first look at sports. Good evening, Anne-Marie.
Well, good evening to you, Lisa. Lots of changes in Cricket West Indies. Richard Pybus is out. Floyd Reefer is in. Confirmation of the mooted decision came from newly elected president of Cricket West Indies, Ricky Skerritt, at a media conference in Antigua this morning. Reefer is the new interim head coach and will lead the yet-to-be-announced World Cup squad next month in England and Wales. The Cricket West Indies board has also decided that in the future, 4 of the 5 Windies coaching staff should be of West Indian origin, and where there are foreign coaches currently working for the organization, there will be a succession plan for a regional replacement.
What we are now enforcing ahead of the upcoming World Cup is a new approach to strategic thinking while reviving authentic West Indian team spirit. Former West Indies captain and award-winning coach Floyd Reefer has therefore been chosen as the interim head coach of the men's senior team because he has lived the same principles of West Indian excellence that we now insist must prevail in our cricket. Up to the end of 2018, Floyd Reefer had been identified as the outstanding emerging local coach. He displayed this by leading the West Indies A team successfully.
Additionally, Robert Haynes has been confirmed as the new interim chairman of selectors. He replaces former Barbados and West Indies wicketkeeper batsman Courtney Brown. The new interim panel will be Haynes, Coach Reefer and Captain Jason Holder, and they will be in place until a new full-time panel is selected around August of this year.
We have terminated the old embedded selection policy, which secretly but actively victimize some players and banish them from selection consideration. And to ensure that our new all-inclusive policy could be implemented immediately and effectively, we have found it necessary to also make some personnel adjustments. Today, I have the pleasure to officially announce that the new interim chairman of selectors is Coach Robert Haynes, who is the most experienced and best suited for this responsibility at this time. We are confident that in Mr. Haynes, we have found an interim chairman who shares the philosophy of inclusiveness and therefore believes in our new selection policy.
Both Reefer and Haynes pledged their commitment to improving West Indies cricket.
My coaching philosophy, we want to build a winning culture. That's my coaching philosophy, building a winning culture and creating that honesty and trust amongst players. And communication is very important. The players and between players and staff, that's very crucial in terms of moving forward with the team. Honesty, very crucial as well. As we go forward with the camp, we have a lot of work to be done. We're going to work on a lot of specifics during the camp. The camp starts on April 15th, runs to April 26th. We're going to do a lot of work on our fielding. I've identified with the other coaches on some of the weak areas we need to improve on.
It will be a case where, as the chairman, I will sit down with Jimmy and other stakeholders in terms of the direction that we need to go. So when I sit with my board, or my panel, as we say, we could definitely look at the direction that we need to go in and make sure that we try at all time to select the best possible team to represent the West Indies. And it's also important that the coach and the captain, when we sit down to discuss cricket, that they have this freedom of expressing themselves. What is it they need in terms of players to represent the team?
As Reefer mentioned, his first job will be to manage a training camp in Barbados starting on Monday ahead of the upcoming Tri-Nation Tour in Ireland. And in new development, Vasper Drakes is taking legal action against Cricket West Indies for an unlawful termination of his contract. Drakes has been replaced as West Indies bowling coach by Corey Cullimore as part of the Cricket West Indies changes to the coaching staff. Queen's Counsel Ralph Thorne is representing Drakes in the matter.
We are claiming unlawful termination of an existing contract between him and Cricket West Indies. Yesterday, the board did things to indicate to him that the engagement between he and Cricket West Indies was at an end, and we are claiming that that action is unlawful, and therefore we are pursuing the Cricket West Indies to consider two things: either reinstatement or compensation. But in any event, we are going to pursue them for compensation. There's a proper way to do things, and the way in which Mr. Drake's engagement has been handled is morally and legally wrong. Of course, my main concern is the legal infraction. But of course, you know, the law often embraces good morals. And what they have done, apart from being illegal, it is also immoral.
Now, Mr. Thorne also says he's deeply concerned about the timing of the changes.
I'm deeply concerned not only about the state of West Indies cricket, just as we are on the cusp of greater success. This happens. I'm concerned about that. I'm also concerned about the relationships between Mr. Drake's and the persons who are intended to replace him. I mean, these are people who played cricket together. They live in a small Caribbean area together. I suspect that they have had good relationships, and this action could possibly injure those relationships. I hope the action does not, but I am concerned that something done by the board is capable of injuring previously good relationships.
Pilots and the Barbados Soccer Academy, they've put themselves in contention for the lion's share of trophies. When Cbc Sports visited the Barbados Community College today for the action in the under-17 category, the Soccer Academy made it a demolition job of Wildy to win their match 5-0. With that win, they lead the group with 12 points, while Parkinson, who defeated Gall Hill 3-2, are second in the standings. They're closely followed by Cosmos and Gall Hill, who are both on 5 points. Now here's a look at the Soccer Academy's win. It was a totally lopsided game that saw the boys in Red Barbados Soccer Academy dominate their opponents, Wildy. And it all started in the 11th minute of play when the keeper comes off his line to tackle Rashawn Marshall, who he just can't control, and Marshall hammers home 1-0. Goal number 2 came 4 minutes later. In comes Dennison Puckring from the right, and it's into the back of the net. Soccer Academy stamping their authority. More goals to come. This time Sylvan Wade gets on the cards and holds off not one but 2 defenders to then make a mess of the keeper. Goal number 3 has his name next to it. Here we go again. Robinho Phillips gets the ball from almost midfield and goes solo on the play. And no, he's definitely not offside as the defender advances, but with no effect. Through the keeper's legs, this is almost looking like a scrimmage and not a match now. Soccer Academy with 4 past the keeper, who at this stage is almost in give-up mode. Phillips finds it so funny how easy he made it look. 4-0 the halftime score. And the game was sealed in the 53rd minute of play when a handsball in the penalty area, and it was awarded. And with keeper Devon Sam really not having much to do, he steps up and beats his fellow custodian. Final score, Soccer Academy 5-0 over Wildy. Now, the under-15 division is also headed by the Soccer Academy. They drew 0-0 with the National Sports Council. At the under-13 level, the Soccer Academy are also dominating to be top of the table, courtesy of a hard-fought 2-0 win over Parkinson. In the under-19 zone, Pinelands secured a finals place with an emphatic 6-0 drubbing of Bidesmill. Now, Pinelands will face last year's champions Etherton, who eked out a nail-biting 1-0 victory over the Soccer Academy. Now, Dwayne Bravo's Chennai Super Kings have increased their lead in the 2019 IPL to 4 points after last ball victory over the Rajasthan Royals today in Jaipur. Royals batted first and made 151 for 7 off their 20 overs, with Ben Stokes top scoring with 28 and Joe for Archer unbeaten on 13. Ravindra Jadeja, he took 2 for 20. The reply by CSK, who omitted Bravo for this match, was exciting as they needed 18 runs off the final over bowled by Stokes. With 3 needed off the final ball, Stokes was struck for a 6 as CSK made 155 for 6 to win by 4 wickets and to move to 12 points. Now, player of the match, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, he top scored with 58, while Archer took 1 for 19.